So, Cutlass, Monte Carlos, and Regals, coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logical Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. In one of my most recent videos, I talked about Mystical and how he interviewed and said that he joined the military for a Benz, for a Mercedes Benz, and how this is an example of the ghetto mentality. That's the downfall of the black community. You know, he said in the interview that he's gonna come back with a Benz, is gonna be shining on them, because you know that's everything about ghetto, wanting to shine on somebody, not be really fabulous as he said, but being ghetto fabulous. But if you thought Mystical was bad, in comes Bryan Williams, aka Birdman, aka Baby. Now, he's a co-founder of Cash Money Records with his brother, Ronald Slim Williams. And Ronald really, was the face behind the scenes, the guy that really made Cash Money go in a business sense, corporate sense mind. Birdman was just the face. He was basically the face of Cash Money. And Birdman was also in a group called Big Timers with Manny Fresh, and really Manny Fresh has to be one of the best hip hop, if not the best hip hop producers. He was Cash Money. There would be no Cash Money Records without Manny Fresh. But one thing that Baby was known for was being a horrible lyricist. At that day anyway. Now today he probably be one of the best lyricists out here. But back then he doesn't have very good lyrical skill, and he doesn't have no range. All he raps about is acquiring nothing but butter. Cars, clothes, jewelry, everything that symbolizes ghetto nonsense. He had to talk about house real big, cars real big. As a matter of fact, the title of this video, basically Cutlass, Monte Carlos, and Regals, was the title of a song about them rapping about getting more butter.
With Cutlass, Monte Carlos, and Regals, man.
So suburban exploitations with the TV's plan.
Cutlass, Monte Carlos, and Regals, man.
Anyway, what is he rapped about? Nothing but cars, nothing but, just ghetto nonsense. And all of his wealth and value spent on nothing but butter. Now, the thing is that it's the culture. As I said, this is a culture. And the ultimate symbol, I would say probably the ultimate symbol of ghetto nonsense, is having gold teeth in their mouth. I've always saw that as just ghetto nonsense. Since I was a kid, I was like, that's just too ghetto. And he got almost, reportedly in 2011, he got $500,000 of platinum and diamond and gold in his mouth. Gold teeth. So $500,000 in one of the ultimate symbols of ghetto. My God. I just hope that he's well invested, because him being the co-founder of Cash Money Records is what obviously afforded him to be able to do something that ridiculous, and always having these expensive $100,000 watches is just ridiculous. I just hope that he never goes broke, that he's well invested. Maybe his brother Slim seemed to have his head more on his shoulders. They seem to be more business savvy and not into all that foolishness. So hopefully they're well invested, and if he ever goes broke, we know why. Anyway, once again, this is a perfect example of this ghetto mentality. And the things that, when I talk about how black people are not suffering because of racism, white supremacy, is ghetto nonsense, is black people's behavior. Well, that ghetto mentality, as I said, it just causes black people to invest their wealth into nothing but butter and nonsense that's not going to be worth anything. Now, if you're a millionaire in his case, and you can afford all that, and you're already rich and you've already attained economic freedom, then you want to spend, $10,000 on a bit to pimp up a ride, and go ahead. But if you're broke, you can't be worried about doing no crap like that. And that ghetto mentality is, like I said, it's going to be the downfall of black people, and until we come out and address that. And again, it's this ghetto mentality, as I say, is a byproduct out of the downfall of the black community. Ever since third wave feminism and black females started running behind third wave feminism, and because of third wave feminism, it eroded the shame that kept morals and decency in society. That those moral and decencies, or that shame that kept morals and decency in society, really truly no longer exists, especially in the black community. In the hood, it just doesn't exist, and we saw the byproduct of this. But man, this ghetto mentality, y'all, is something. Another thing that we as black people need to stop worrying about the damn racism, white supremacy, and we need to be worried about all this black inferiority. Really, truly. Anyway, y'all, that's my 2 cents on this. Baby Birdman is the very embodiment of ghetto nonsense. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.